Again, my name is Greg Mitbo. I'm Chief Revenue Officer of Moven, and this is Brett King, our CEO and sometimes sponsor of Breaking Banks.
Founder, radio show host,
There
number
you
one
go.
fintech radio show in the world. Had to give it a plug, right?
Hard to do a plug for
I'm going
him.
to do
He'll
a
it for himself.
selfie while you're talking too.
All right,
Say hello,
so
everybody.
we have some really interesting, cool new stuff to show you today. But first, I want to tell you about 2016 at Moven. Really transformative year for us. We added 1 million new customers to the Moven platform globally, mostly through fintech partnerships with banks. So TD Bank of Canada, Westpac in New Zealand launching TD MySpend, and CashNav, both of which were the #1 free app on the App Store the week they launched. And when was the last time that happened to a banking app?
Beating out Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram.
Amazing, right? Huge customer reaction to that, also huge customer changes to that. So 8% less discretionary spend if you use the app. You're half as likely to leave the bank in a TRIT if you use the app. So huge metrics associated with using this app. Brett, you want to show us what's next?
Sure. So obviously we're focusing a lot right now on the savings component and savings behavior with the app, creating that. As Greg said, with TD Bank, what this resulted in was between an 8 to 10% reduction in month-to-month spend with our customers. Part of the growth strategy in terms of Moven and how we're going, as we roll this out across other countries, we're able to now prototype and launch these apps very, very quickly. We can roll out a prototype app linked into a bank's ecosystem in about 5 or 6 days. I think this is part of the reason that in Q4 we closed $27 million worth of new deals for Moven. So I think that makes us the only profitable neobank in the world, dude.
Interesting segment.
Hybrid, yeah, okay. So let me show you a bit of the savings capability we're looking at with the app right now, or the capabilities we've got. So of course we have our Alexa integration, which has been live now for some time. So let me see how this goes live here. Ask Moven how much I've saved this month.
You have saved $257.95 in the last month. Congratulations.
It worked. Cool. So that's actually linked to my live account in the US, but I'm going to show you now through this app, our app experience here in the enterprise platform. So if we can have, yep, thank you.
There we go.
So you'll see here we've got this link to UK account. You can see how much I've spent so far this month. I'm $150 below my typical spend. This is based on aggregation of a number of different accounts in the ecosystem. We sit on top of Yodlee's platform and other aggregation services to get this data. So you can see here sort of a balance sheet view of your accounts. What you've spent, what you've got invested, what you owe. And this is all produced off that aggregation platform. If you go into our savings capability, you see we're moving more towards actionable savings, not just from a behavioral perspective, where we generate savings, but we're actually starting to gear this towards longer-term savings potential. So robo-advisor, advice around investments and retirement and so forth. So I can go into any of these categories and I can see my accounts linked to that, whether that is your own bank's accounts or whether that's a Moven direct account. Thanks, Duana. When we go into the savings component of this, you'll see we can look at any of those accounts at any time. We can link various accounts. We can see what I have, what I owe. But within the actual savings component, you'll see that we have what we call a wish list function. Now, this is really where the behavioral gamification of Moven comes into play. So you can see the various things that I'm saving for. Now, these aren't goals. These are items that we measure the velocity of your savings against. So in this case, you see a holiday. I've got £974 that I've saved so far towards this. If I keep saving at my current velocity, I'll have achieved this by March 18th. So I can look at other savings elements in there. I've got my bike, I've got my the other things. I can look at this through grid mode on the savings. You get a bit more of a feel for the design of this. Rather than treat these as goals, the problem with goals is that when you fill your bucket or you fill your goal, you spend that money. That's not how life works with savings. With savings, you have competing interests. So we believe the goal paradigm is fundamentally broken. So what we've tried to do is create a behavioral model that mimics the way you actually save. So in this instance, you can see two things we're saving for: our bike and our holiday. We can't afford to do both. We're going to have to make a decision, a trade-off for one of those. So this is how we think about the behavioral elements of saving. Of course, you can increase your velocity of your savings using the savings tool as well. And you can choose where you want those savings to go, whether that's going into your short-term savings or your longer-term savings with investments and retirement. So this is some of the progress we're making with Moven around the savings component of this. Remember, Moven was designed as an all-encompassing day-to-day behavioral bank account approach, measuring your day-to-day behavior, reducing your spending through gamification, which leads to savings. So in this way, we're able to use the gamification element of Moven to generate real-time revenue through the mobile phone for our partner banks. This year, we expect to be in 6 geographies with over 10 million users.
And we've got one more thing, and this is for you.
The one more thing.
We're trying, Finovate's all about demonstrating capability versus talking about it. One of the unique things about Moven is that we drink our own champagne, we run a fintech, and we run a white label software business. So 4 weeks ago, we signed up for this show, and we decided to launch Moven UK. So go to the App Store, iOS or Android, download it. It's aggregation driven. Combine all your UK bank accounts together, get a view of your spend. You can do it, your customers can do it, your competitors' customers can do it, right? We got it to market in 4 weeks. That's crazy fast. We localized it, we branded it for the UK. I only ask 2 things of you: 5-star review and tell a friend.
Get moving. Thanks
Get
for having us,
moving.
guys.